Sit.
Please one step back, Sarah. Normally, Geshi are in the Shimoza.
시작! 목소! 목소 야매! 쇼미니! 웨이! 센스니! 웨이!
보스! 오네가이시마스.
어쩌가니! 웨이!
보스! はい、앞에. はい、はい、boss. Okay, はい、she's in tie. Everybody relax. Stephen, please. Oh, very good. Okay, this first few minutes will be a video lesson on the topic of SAI. Stephen asked an excellent question last time if I train with SAI, a traditional karate weapon. No, but I used to 20 years ago, back in 1994-95. This was in the period, in the first few years, when I thought it would be a good idea to simultaneously learn the Shotokan style and the Kobujutsu style. I thought if I trained extra hard and, I don't know, worked more, I could learn more. 20 years later, I still think I was right. On top of that, I thought if I learned the traditional karate weapons, Kobudo, I thought I would have an even deeper understanding of this ancient art. 20 years later, I still say I was right. So I'll demonstrate the sai, please, if I may borrow your sai, Stephen. Okay. Okay. So this is for those members of the team who are not here today, or those who will join the team in the future. This is a sai. In the Japanese language, the plural does not add an S. So in Japanese, you do not say one sai, two sais. That's German and English grammar. We say this is a sai, this is nicho zai, which just means two of these things. If you have three of them, which is the traditional way to wear them, then we say sancho zai. Okay, this is a weapon in Japanese, buki. A weapon, buki, from Okinawa Kobujutsu. Okinawa is a part of modern-day Japan since 1879, taken by military force. Before that, it had its own independent king, royal family, government, economy, culture, and language. Now belongs to Japan. The name changed from Ryukyu to Okinawa. Ko, meaning old, bu, martial, do. Kobudo, the ancient martial way, or Kobujutsu, ancient fighting techniques. Okinawa Kobujutsu has many of these weapons. This is one of them, called Nichozai. Now, the interesting thing about this weapon is you can do a lot of damage with this as an object, which is still legal in most of the civilized world. You can buy and own these, and in the right hands, you can. This is about as dangerous as you can get in an object that doesn't shoot bullets. First of all, in the olden days, it could be carried, and if you were attacked, it didn't look like you were armed. Very quickly, you could switch modes and wear your nichozai in a way that allowed you to very quickly become a deadly killing machine. From there, you could very quickly, this brings back memories. This is literally the first time I've held nichozai since 1995. It's been 20 years. Muscle memory is still there. Okay. Now, it is not a blade. It's not a knife. It's round, so there's no cutting surface on it. You cannot cut anything with it. It's like a rod or a baton, but it's made of metal. Okay. What is dangerous about it is it traditionally had 3 pointy tips. One here at the end, and then 2 pointy tips on the hooks. Those were very dangerous and could hurt people. Now, it was like having a 3-in-1 weapon. The parts of the sai. Mono-uchi would be the main body. That's this part, the main striking surface. Sai gashira. Gashira means head, the head of the sai. Sai gashira, and of course these 2 hooks called yoku. Now, what made this so deadly was, I'll show the weapons one by one, starting with the head. Because of the way you held the sai, you had a big metal fist automatically attached to your hand. So if it comes to Steven, please come a little forward. I will move slowly for your protection. I've not held one of these in 20 years. Okay? The uchiwaza, the techniques of striking, involve ramming parts of the body with a very heavy chunk of metal. Okay? Using the head, the gashira, as a striking surface. Now, obviously, the main body was also used as a striking surface. Okay? Very deadly. You can hit various parts of the body. Wham! Wham! Okay? But what made this weapon unique were the 2 hooks, the yoku. Okay. You see that? The big metal hooks. They used to be sharp. Oh, I forgot to tell the origin. The main theory, which makes sense to me, was this was originally a farming tool used by the farmers in Okinawa to plant rice. The 2 sharp hooks would take a chunk of rice, they would plunge it into the shallow water and into the ground, and then the main shaft, the mono-uchi, would poke a hole into the dirt so that the roots could grow into the ground. Okay, now, if we look at the combinations of the uchiwaza using the hooks, the yoku, look at this. Sliding forward. Okay? After a strike, sliding forward so that the hook would take out a chunk of flesh. Okay? Imagine you have a sword and you wanted to attack, please. You have a sword. Look at the hook. Can you see that? I'll show from the other side. Okay? Or strike to the groin. I'll be very careful here, and then just to slide forward. Can you see that? Now, that's striking techniques. Using the head, using the shaft, as a defensive weapon. If he were to try to attack me in the head, do slowly so you don't hurt your arms, please. Look what happens with the age-uke. Remember, that's a sharp hook. Can you see that? Okay. Age-uke using the hook. If he attacks the body, look at the soto-uke. Again, then I have the arm impaled through the flesh. 10 minutes. I'll speed this up. Okay? Now, against the weapon, you had very interesting phenomena happening. Okay? If he attacks Jodan, now, traps the weapon. Can you see that? Which obviously I've not trained in a long time, but for those who, there it is. Can you feel the grip?
Yes.
Okay. Now, if he attacks the body, please. Okay. Soto uke, this version, which would trap the weapon. Or, one more time, same thing. Soto uke. This version. Can you feel the grip on that?
Yes.
Yeah. Which would lead him to attack. Or Geidan Barai. He attacks my legs. Okay. Again. In that case, we would have to go with an open Geidan Barai. Okay? Okay. So that's just a brief introduction. Or trapping the weapon. If he attacks my head, okay, what this interlocking does, it's very, very strong. So even if he were a more strong opponent, the amount of force required here is less for me. And can you feel how the weapon is trapped? It allows you to interlock the weapon, okay? Same thing if he attacks the lower body. Geidan lock, and then weapon trap. Can you see? Which then allows me to pivot in and then... Okay. So that is just a brief introduction to the Nichozai. Now, last word, because I think we're at 11 minutes now. Traditionally, when they wore these, I don't know if you were taught this, they used to wear 3 of these. Have you heard this?
No.
Because not only did you have arms of steel, striking weapon of steel, elbows that could dig in, hooks that would take chunks out of flesh, they used to throw these. So to the camera, I won't let go. If they did this, but open their hand, it would fly this way, and they used to typically let go so it would land somewhere below the belt, trying to hit the legs. And because they threw this way, one of these 3 sharp points would just land like that, and it would go through his leg. Or, if you threw down a little bit too far, you would just pin his foot to the ground. Can you see this idea? So this is why traditionally they wore 3 of them, like this. The Nichozai. 1 here, 2, of course they trained with 2, and then the technique used to be first pinning his foot to the ground, or through the leg, and then still having all of these weapons at your disposal. Okay, brief description of the Okinawa Kobudo Sanchozai, or the tradition of the 3-side weapons. Okay, thank you, Stephen. Oos, awesome. And thanks for watching. Oos, okay.